Hey, I just seen a few posts on my feed that are like this thin.
I feel like social media managers everywhere are like crying at this trend. I mean, I love that some people are embracing it, but I guess the ratio, people are uploading like little landscape clips. If you haven't seen it already, I feel like most people probably have. Our team, when we first saw it, were like, did we miss something? Like, what is happening here? I feel like it's going to be an example of a trend that fizzles out very, very quickly. I feel like potentially even by the time this video goes live, it might have fizzled out, but I don't know. I think there's ways that you can be purposeful around this trend. I saw like a video production company jump on this trend as well, and I think that was like a really purposeful way to do it, to kind of show, I guess, the high-end like landscapey orientation. But I'm also seeing like a lot of clothing brands jumping on it, and brands where it's like you kind of need that full-scale video content to really emphasize your product. So I think there's some ways you can be purposeful about it, but then there's some ways of just trends that I'm like, I don't understand the purpose of this.
Well, it's really hard to get any context within a very small graphic, the size that people are doing. So I guess it gives people a way to be creative, as you said. But if you're not being creative about it and you're just posting something that's just a tiny picture, it's really kind of pointless.
Yeah, definitely. Like I feel like, especially for like hospo as well, like there's just some brands that I'm like, I don't understand why you're engaging in this. It also is an example of something that looks really cool on the feed.
Yes.
And then when you see it, when you're scrolling the Reels tab, it looks awful. So I feel like in my mind, I want my content to look beautiful no matter where the user's finding it, especially if it's a video, because they're going to be scrolling their feed and that's where they're most likely going to see it if they don't follow you. So I don't know if it's something that I would jump on.
How about we test one today and we'll see what kind of reach it gets, because maybe Instagram's actually, I can't imagine it's probably promoting it over others, but how about we post one today and just report back in the comments as to how much it got compared to other posts.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, you can make one for WHC that's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And it's like really small.
Okay, let's do it. So, and then the next update we're going to talk about is TikTok.
Yes. So when you are scrolling your feed now and you can hold down, you've always been able to hold down and say, I'm not interested in this content. Like that's always been a feature, but they've kind of refined that now as well. So when you hold down saying you don't want to see this content anymore, it actually gives you a bunch of options. So it'll say show less of this creator, this sound, or this hashtag. So if it's a trending sound that you're sick of, you can just say, I don't want to hear that sound anymore. But then you can also have the option that says, I found this content too repetitive, too promotional, inappropriate, or misleading.
So that's all the same stuff Meta's got pretty much, haven't they? I'm pretty sure they've got that on their ads.
Yes.
But not the other style, not the first.
Yeah. And I guess the hard thing is this is organic content that you're able to filter out as well now. So it's not just ads. They're applying this to their organic content, which I think that brands need to be really, really strategic now about how they're creating content on TikTok. We've always kind of had that approach of you should never be too brand heavy and you should be trying to use your TikTok content as more of an audience building, community building side. But now more than ever, I wouldn't be, blasting your brand products in a way that's super salesy. I'd be trying to do it in a strategic way. I think that Sofa Dofa's clothing brand are a really good example of how to kind of do promotional content that doesn't feel too promotional. You can see in like the example I'm going to play, it could have been real. It might be an authentic piece, but I just don't feel like my marketing brain's on, and I know it's very staged in my mind. But they had a story that they built where they were in their house and there was a tradie working next door, and the tradie yelled out and said like, my girlfriend loves your products, like she loves your shirt, she's trying to get this shirt, it's not in stock. And they went, we've actually got one out the back. So they went out, got the shirt, gave it to the tradie, and it felt like this really authentic moment of them connecting with their audience. And it also, sneaky promoted the tank top that they had more sizes coming out as well. So I just think you have to be so careful with how you put your content out on TikTok, especially when it comes to heavy promotional content.
Yeah, and I think that it makes sense in the landscape where previously you would only get served content from brands you followed or you actually showed signals that you wanted to see. But when TikTok's putting content from all different kinds of creators across all different areas, it almost needs that feedback loop apart from just this swiping away. You think that that's probably going to give them enough signal, but if you got it, allowing you to actually manually say, I don't want any more of this type of stuff, it's going to help the feed become more, I guess, curated for you as well.
100%.
I guess we'll see how that impacts our brand reach if we are starting to see that, because I guess as a company that posts a lot of different brands' content on TikTok, I wonder how that will be reflected in reporting now that this is a thing, because you might start seeing that at least we'll get a feedback loop and we'll start seeing that stuff just isn't getting the reach that it used to because people are giving that manual feedback as opposed to relying on the algorithm to give it back to us. Cool. All right. Well, Kayla, thanks for joining again today.
You're welcome.